Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Parks and Community Services Committee meeting of Thursday, September 19th, 2024. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Thanks everybody for being here. The first thing we have today is approval of minutes. Did everybody have a chance to take a look, and are there any changes?
I move that we approve the minutes as stated.
Second.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks, Les. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Sherry, for those. Next is public comment. Do we have any public comment today? No? Okay, all right. Thanks, Jan. Okay, let's start right off then. The first item on the agenda is based on the public comment that we got last month regarding an AED at the city park and windscreens. So I'd like to start with the AED portion of this. Like you probably all saw in the packet that Myung also sent a letter in support of the AEDs. And Karen reached out to the fire department, and the fire department is more than happy to take that on. They'll work with the chamber and we'll move that forward. So Trevor, do you have anything you want to say about?
No, the fire department was actually pretty excited to take this on and get an AED somewhere around the chamber facility there and work with them on possibly some training too. Because in my opinion, trained on the AED.
Absolutely, yeah. So, Trevor, will you continue to kind of be the point contact to keep up with how that is progressing?
I don't feel like I need to be the point of contact with this. I have full trust in the fire department to follow through with this action. Most likely I'll have a discussion with Jason next time I see him.
Okay, it's
Just
Jason
kind of see where he's at.
who you're talking to. Okay,
Yeah, and they were super excited to take it on.
I think it's great.
I think that's great news. Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah. The next item is windscreens. And Trevor, do you want to?
Sure, yeah. So, a lot of things that I do in this community and a lot of moves that I make in this community is complaint driven. When I see a trend of complaints, that's when we take action or we discuss how we can stop the complaints from coming in, especially when there's a trend to it. We have not, to this date, except for last month, received a request for extra windscreens at our tennis and pickleball courts. When we created the pickleball courts years ago, I made it a point to stop by when I had some time and I'd see new people out there using the facilities and ask them their opinion. What do you like about it? What would you change if you could change anything about these courts? And I never once received any negative impact or any thought about adding any extra windscreens. The way I look at the tennis courts and the pickleball courts is options. We have multiple options for pickleball, tennis, windscreens, and unwind screens. So staff, we would like to continue having options. Now, the next one is visual. A lot of comments that I got from parents and grandparents is the kids can be playing inside the tennis court area and the parents can be at the park or at one of the picnic tables and they can keep a good visual eye on their children. So staff's opinion at this point is we keep it the way it is. Last thing I'll add to that is the court in question for the windscreens is we have a massive tree there next to the chamber, a beautiful tree. And I'm sure you guys have all seen the damage the roots have done to that court itself. About a quarter of that court is being disrupted by the root system. Of course, staff is going to do whatever we can to save the tree. We don't want to remove the tree, but there is eventually going to have to be some modifications to that existing tennis court there to accommodate the root structure that has exposed itself. That's all I have on that. Kirk, you have anything?
I could answer questions, but not much more than that. The expense would be around $1,400. It takes about 4 or 5 hours to put them up and take them down, and 270 zip ties.
A lot.
Well, I had a person who asked who was outside the playground at the picnic table, and she mentioned to me that Her kids are in the playground. They aren't little kids, but they're small enough. She wants to keep an eye on them. But she said, I wish there wasn't a windscreen here so I could play pickleball with my husband and watch the playground at the same time. Sorry, and I just don't see the demand and of course, depending on the location on the Second Street court. There's a big whole different discussion there, east, north or south, but I don't think it's necessary. I mean, at all.
Tom?
I spoke to a couple of people that play pickleball and that are avid pickleball players, and they don't care. The nets are there, they're not there, they don't care. My personal experience with tennis court windscreens is that, we don't have the same kind of summers as we do in Louisiana, but it would trap the air in there, and it traps the heat in. So you sweat more profusely. The other negative side is if somebody has an event, they go down, the only person that's able to see that they've gone down is the guy that's in there with them. And then he's got to, run out, get the AED, You can go either way with it, but I'm kind of like, I don't really see the benefit.
Correct. And we have an option. We already have a court set up with windscreens. That's what I talk about, options. We like to give people as many options as possible.
Okay. Anybody have anything else they'd like to say?
I'll just add that appreciate the diligence that staff did. It seems like it's well thought out, did some research on that. Also pointing out that this could be some additional maintenance to those courses in the future. So further investments in there, might be going backwards in there.
Correct.
In the future with that. I hadn't thought about the safety concern, but that seems very real. And make sure that we're not creating an unsafe condition in there would mean that I'd probably support not putting screens up, which block a view.
Correct.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, well, thank you. Thanks, Trevor and Kirk and Karen and AJ for all the research and the information. Thanks.
And I will follow up with the fire department in about a month, see where they're at with the AED, okay?
Great. Thank you so much. Next on the agenda is the Ecola Bible School volunteers. So the student director from the Ecola Bible School reached out to Karen and said that she'd offered a group of student volunteers weekly throughout the school year for any projects that we need help on. So they'd like it to be a schedule if possible, so they can know what to plan for. But there are a lot of different things we could utilize their help with. A couple ideas Karen had: vegetation and weeding management, cleanup at the garden club, 12 days, tree plantings, graffiti and sticker removal throughout town, trash pickup, beach cleanup. So there are a lot of different options of ways we can utilize them. But as I said, they'd like it to be a semi-regular schedule if possible. And so it might be a great way to get a few things done around town. And that's a nice offer. So what do you guys think?
Yes. And I also think the idea of the sticker removal is a really good one, because if kids have to do that, they're gonna not appreciate it happening in cities.
Mhm.
And also I can see them being really helpful in our weed warriors and lots of other ways. So great.
So they just would need a contact person, right, Karen, to?
Correct.
First thing is a schedule. You can just kind of create a schedule for the school year saying, here's when we're gonna do, and all this is weather dependent. So she understands that. I let her know things could change depending on the weather. But if we have a point person at each end, then it's easier to coordinate. If something changes, we can call her and say, hey, the trail cleanup's off this weekend because it's gonna be raining, or whatever. But at least we've got some contact from the committee that's gonna be aware of all these events of cleanup, and we can communicate with her. I'm happy to help support that. So first and foremost is just getting a schedule put together of the things you've got planned. You can add to it. We've got her email, so we can send it out to her. And what she does is she puts it up and the kids sign up for it. And this is a requirement for the kids. They've got to do X amount of community work. Like, you're gonna get volunteers, so take advantage of it.
So is it only during the week or is it can we do Saturday?
It's anytime during the school year.
Okay,
Obviously, when they're in school, they can't, but you put the event, what time it is, and based on their availability of school, they'll sign up, and weekends.
And weekends, yes.
great, great.
Okay.
Great. So would anybody like to be the point person? Betty? Okay,
Anybody else could do it, but,
okay, thank you.
okay.
So the idea to create 36 projects before the school year starts? Oh, the school year started. I mean,
Well, I think the idea would be saying, these are the times we're gonna do Weed Warrior, this is the time. I could coordinate with you what times they could do sticker removal. I could talk to you about other things you need and we can just plug in the schedule.
Yeah.
AJ,
Yeah,
You can
I like the sticker removal idea.
Yeah.
It's very tedious removing
they
them.
can do that on their
And
own.
not, and not
Anytime they want.
damaging signs.
And there's certain projects that you already know are gonna occur, like 12 Days of Earth. You've set the date already for next year, so get that on the schedule.
Mhm.
And tell them which days, your street event's gonna happen. So at least get half a dozen items together pretty quickly. I'll send it to them. I tell them we're gonna continue to add events to that. And when you do the event, say where the meeting point is gonna be. So when they sign up, they know where to show up. So give as much information as to where they're supposed to report as you can.
one of the things that's an issue is we don't know where we're gonna be doing our invasive species. But we can let them know a week ahead or something like that, 2 weeks ahead.
As long as there's that communication back and forth. And they've got a person that they can call if they get confused about where they're supposed to be or whatnot.
Perfect. Oh, this is great. Awesome.
And if you keep the schedule in my hands, I'll help with that. And I'll put my city cell phone on there that they can call and I'll direct them where you guys are gonna be. You just gotta keep me in the loop.
Okay,
Okay,
And they'll have to sign waivers just like all of the
I
other.
have that down. And do we have, I know we're going through the process of recreating our waivers. So I will need new waivers because the old ones,
For right now, use the one we have in place. And as soon as the revised one is done, I'll get that in your hands.
okay, good.
great.
Awesome.
This would be a huge help.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And wanting young bodies.
Like your grandkids can't be here all the
I know, geez.
time.
They won't visit me anymore. They say, you just do this somewhere."
Well, great.
Thanks for volunteering to be the point person. If you
Yeah.
consider me a willing participant, if you will, happy to.
Good.
For anything,
Yeah.
Thank you.
outside dealing with vegetation and street planning. Thanks, really.
Thanks.
Great.
And a schedule really helped me. And as you know, sometimes my weekends get full because my wife's working full time and she doesn't work weekends. But during the week, it's a good time. So some people might not be able to do things during the week or.
That'd be perfect, actually. That'd be great.
Wonderful. Thanks, everybody.
Exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting.
In fact, maybe you could take on the Tuesday group. And I'll handle because the kids might, yeah, that would be okay with you. Because you're more available on Tuesday.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Okay, thanks.
Hey,
Next we have Kirk and AJ.
I'll start off the men's soccer league finished up their season last night. I think they had a big party down there and they were all done and I'm looking forward to going clean up. The last Thursday night concert, the Buskers, is tonight. After which we'll cut the power to the bandstand. It's been on turn the lights off all the time. So we just kind of turn the power off for the off season. The Purple Martin houses are, after a successful season, are due to come down. I'll coordinate with Jan and Jan will talk to Trevor when her volunteers are able. We'll all attack it together. Try and work together with that, but they're ready to come down, but it's not in a big hurry. Ongoing landscape maintenance, of course. AJ worked with the street guys this morning and took all the semaphores down. Kind
You
of,
guys down there.
kind of the end of the, summer's over. I'm taking the windscreens down today. We shoot for the 15th, give or take, and something we didn't really talk about. I don't know if we want to.
Nope.
Dates. Okay, never mind. You notice the construction's underway at, for the remodel of the Midtown restroom. The flower baskets are still up, but they won't be up by the time we have our next meeting. And AJ planted some trees.
Yes, I planted 4 trees, 4 matching spruce trees at Nakus along that bank, because somebody keeps cutting the trees down to, I don't know, go fish down there or something, but I planted 4 there. I planted called like limber pine. It was a little one at the Sunset Steps where it merges south to 101. Right there, I planted it next to another what is that? Spruce or not?
The shore pine there.
Pine that's already there. And then just yesterday, I planted a redwood and the strip to the recycling center because one of the trees there wasn't doing, one of the small trees wasn't doing well, so I removed that and planted a new 7-foot tall redwood. And we have a lot of playground equipment at the Public Works Yard. I've been reading up on the instructions, getting ready to install that now that it's started to slow down. So that's pretty much it now.
Yes, you guys are always so busy. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Great job.
Really?
Something to do.
Yep. Never a dull moment. Yeah. Anything else?
Garbage.
Garbage, ongoing.
Not a garbage.
Graffiti,
Yeah.
garbage,
Oh, yeah.
trash can maintenance.
Much. Thanks. Heritage Trees Program is next. Do you have any updates on that?
Right away trees.
Right away trees look like.
Oh, did I just skip right over that? Thanks. I tend to skip things. Okay, right away trees. Anybody have any questions about the trees that were in our packet this month? Nope.
It's just an observation of the quality of job that the city arborist is doing in his summary letter. I mean, everything you really, in my opinion, need to know about condition of the tree, the condition of the safety situation, and his recommendation is very clear. So nice job with that, summarizing it in, half a page, basically. So
I'll pass that on to them. Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah, I particularly appreciate his advice on replacement. And because that kind of clears up that ambiguity in my mind.
And I agree in that in some cases, he was very specific about replacing a number of trees and suggesting a location and even the one close by here, the Japanese black pine, that's a pretty nice, unique, it's a non-native tree, but he even considered, is relocation feasible, and it's not, but at least he considered it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he does a good job.
He does.
Fortunate to have Jeff on our team.
Yes, very. Anything else? Okay, thanks so much. Okay, now heritage trees. Anything they want to say? No?
Are we gonna try to wait until the next year to do another, or should we start looking for a new one?
Always be looking for a new one.
Always.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I had taken some pictures of the tree that we've actually already talked about, the shore pine that's right next to the tennis court. And I did not realize that which we're starting to tear up. So that probably would, although it's a beautiful tree, probably would not be a good heritage tree concept. I'm thinking now.
But it is beautiful.
It is. It's
Yeah.
a nice tree. Very nice.
When you're sitting at the park bandstand and you look to the right, there on the kind of a berm there's some really nice trees up there. I think we should consider some of those because they look really healthy. I don't know, everybody else could look at them and see if they find a special one. We could also go back to Shirley and revisit that, what's it, not a
Strawberry.
Strawberry.
strawberry tree.
That's a beautiful specimen of a strawberry tree.
Oh,
Buddhist, right?
Brutus, yeah.
Well, we have the winner. It's again, sounds like a good project.
Yeah, good for a site visit.
okay.
I think we're due for a site visit.
I think so. I think so. Yeah,
But we're still looking for the public to nominate trees, right?
sure.
If Justice Committee cares and Justice Committee picks out one tree a year, I mean, it's fine, but it seems like it, I don't know.
Nice to have people involved.
Yeah,
Need to get the word out.
Okay, anything else on that? All righty, thanks. Tree focus group, Les, do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, just a couple of comments. The tree focus that are meeting to work on that are continuing to work on it. Some updates are, important updates are we had intended to have what I think was going to be our final draft before the planning commission this month, but we've elected to push it back until the October meeting. We've gotten some really, really good supportive input from an expert with the ODF, as well as some really, really good input from the city itself. And we're kind of going through our last pass to get it really and ready to go. So October planning commission meeting it will be discussed at that point. And although it's not up on the website yet, we will attempt to get our draft up as quickly as possible so that anybody that wants to pull it up can take some time to look at it. I can't think of anything else at this point.
Okay, thanks so much. Community grants. I did want to mention a couple things. So the party last night that they had in the park for the Hispanic month was funded with a grant from us. And so that's awesome and it looked like it was a huge success.
So
Park was packed. So that's great. And then we did Barb presented the community grants at the concert in the park for Tolovana on the 8th. Thanks you guys for being there. And then Andrew did a really nice post on Facebook about it.
Good.
So that was really great and a lot of positive comments. If we decide to do that moving forward, which it seemed like it worked really well, then we can decide, how do we need to change it? Is it great the way it is? Just kind of think of things as we move forward. But that was a really good way to get the word out. And then Les did a nice article in the Gazette
Saw that.
that's,
Yeah.
about the community grants.
Well, and I appreciate it. I've heard some kind comments about that because I'm not a very good writer. But I do think it worked pretty well. And I don't know that we've ever done that in the past. So I really think it's worth our time to continue to tell the community
oh, God, yeah.
what's going on. And so I would expect we'll try it again.
No,
So
I think,
I have one comment about the one of the grants for the school,
Mhm.
for the lighting in the school, and I've been going down to the school a lot. The lighting is horrid and they're planning on, the work being done. It's gonna be really nice for the school, so. I'm glad we were able to have more money so they could get more of what they needed.
awesome. Thanks, everybody, for all the work on the grants. I it's so appreciated and so necessary. These organizations do what they do well, so thanks. Betty, you're up for the monthly reserve cleanup.
Oh, we're not doing the 12 days thing?
It's at the end.
Oh, it's at the end. Oh, okay, so this month we're gonna go to Little Pompeii. And we're gonna meet in the parking lot at 10 a.m. And do you folks know which side we should go on? I haven't walked the area. What would you prefer?
Probably haven't walked it for almost a month, right?
I'm sorry, what?
I think it's with TK mode.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, we could walk it because
You can walk it. I don't know, did you get up on the
You got,
southeast corner, southwest corner rather? I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what about removing some, what about that area on the trail that goes to, removing some ivy in those trees?
okay, so up,
You know, where you guys have done it in the past and
okay, okay, I'd have to resend out my text, but that's okay.
We can still meet on Second though, can't we?
yeah,
Yeah.
And then just walk
over
up,
there.
okay? But where do you want to, if we walk, if we're up there, where do you want us to leave? Do you want us to leave the,
drag it down to the gate there like you guys did before at the wastewater treatment plant, so we can just open the gate and grab and go.
Kind of at the foot of that concrete
Yeah,
ramp.
because Jeff Gearhart made an observation last time he was in there, in that section from the wastewater plant to Monroe, that the ivy should be, you know,
get down there?
cut down, and if you can't pull it down, just cut it so it dies and then it'll fall off.
You can just cut it and leave it.
Yeah.
As long as you know,
But that's gonna preserve some of those trees in there, because the ivy will choke them out eventually. So,
after the experts used to say, they recommend that you don't try and pull it down because someone's gonna hurt themselves. Just cut it.
Okay, okay.
And if you did want to haul it out, depending on where you are, you could haul it to Monroe or
whatever's the easiest for you.
Don't you think that if we take it, cut it and then try to get the roots out?
sure,
Cause
Go for it.
take the bottom, pull the bottom out. My point is,
Leave it on the
don't stop pulling stuff down on yourselves because once it dies and turns brown, it doesn't bother the tree.
Yeah, yeah.
But down below it won't come back. That would be cool, sure.
yeah,
And you can make a pile at either Monroe or outside the gate at the wastewater plant.
okay,
So it's the path in the woods in the Sitka Spruce Reserve. Basically,
okay.
that's the trail, the part of the trail that Trevor's talking about.
Correct.
So we're still gonna meet at the parking lot. Okay,
Nice walk, yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful.
If you see any ivy on your way, dive in there and kill that as you're on your way through. 'Cause-
Any blackberries or
Yeah,
holly or?
Have fun.
Oh, always something. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Betty, for arranging that each month.
Okay,
Okay, last on the agenda today is the 12 Days of Earth Day. So Betty and Les and I worked on updating the handbook so that it reflects really what we do. We spend a lot of time on it. We shared it with staff. They went through it. We had a meeting and discussed it. We made some more changes, and then it was sent on to the city attorney, and she made a few changes as well. So what we did is we separated the manual into, well, we separated into two parts. One is the manual for us, for the Parks Committee, so that we know moving forward what we need to do each year for the event. And then the other one is what will be sent out to the people who are participating in the street fair or people who are going to be part of the speaker series. So what you had in the packet is the result of a lot of hours and a lot of help. And if you guys are okay with it, we ask any questions you want. It'll go in front of council on the 1st of October for approval.
Correct. I'll be presenting it that evening, October the 1st. And I do remember the folks that weren't in attendance last time, so make sure you're in attendance.
So anyway, do you guys want to have a discussion about it? Did you have a chance to look at it? Or is there anything you noticed that didn't quite work for you? Or what do you guys think?
Anita's got her hand up.
Anita?
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, first, thanks for all the work that you did on this. The only thing that I kind of question is the Facebook social media platform. There's one site that, to my knowledge, is very politically motivated by the administrator's views. You cannot get into that site unless you are accepted and agree with that administrator. And I would question whether this event belongs on that platform, as I see 12 Days of Earth as a total community event. And there are some of us that won't be allowed on that site to see any information. I love Cannon Beach. I think vets as well, but maybe more for spamming and bots. I think the marketplace is open to all. That's just my opinion on that part of the manual.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Anything else on the,
Oh, I know. Nita, do you have a recommendation? Because I think we were just struggling to figure out ways we can get the information out. Do you have any recommendations on better, I mean, because we're just
Yeah,
pulling at straws.
Yeah, thanks, Betty. I guess I'm not sure if the city has a specific site, just going to the city's webpage. I thought that was a good place for people to be directed to find the information. If we start going out and then we get into these personal political sorts of platforms, I think it doesn't bode well for the event, the 12 days of Earth being all inclusive. So
Yeah,
just the city website, the chamber, those are the only things that come to my mind that I'm aware of.
great. Thanks.
yeah, it's always gonna be a work in progress, this manual, because, things change, you realize one thing doesn't work and then something else does, and so this can always be changed as we move forward with this event. Karen?
I define that Facebook location as the city's Facebook when I was talking to the city attorney.
Mhm.
So if someone takes that and shares it to another group page, that's nothing that we can control. It's not necessarily a reflection of the event. But when we're speaking of social media in this document, we're talking the city's Facebook page, not some other group.
Right. Well, it was listed, Protect Cannon Beach, and that's an exclusive Facebook platform for one administrator.
That doesn't have anything to do with this. We're talking the city's Facebook page.
Right, but it's
Yeah.
listed in the manual.
Yeah, we'll correct it in the manual.
We'll correct that.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's
yeah, I
all.
think it reflects what we did this year. But I completely understand what you're saying, Anita, that, it probably isn't the right place, or the exclusive right place.
Yeah,
But we
certainly
can't post to the
members of
Facebook.
Protect Cannon Beach could share it. I'm not saying that. I mean, that's their
Yeah.
right to do that. But as the city specifically using Protect Cannon Beach as their social media platform for this event is something that I feel we should stay away from.
Okay.
Agreed.
Yep.
I put that on the city Facebook page and that's what I conveyed to Ashley. So I can fix that.
Well, we can easily fix that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anita.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other comments, any other questions? We tried to also, in addition to the manuals, update the insurance, the volunteer waivers. So, and those will change a little bit each year based on dates and, when everything's happening. But it's always as needed, we can change different things. It just has to go through the city attorney. So. You guys okay if we move forward with this then with the change to the Facebook sites? Okay, do we need a motion for that, do you think, or just, okay, great. Okay. Thanks. Betty spent, I couldn't even tell you how many hours Betty spent on that. She has a few fights with Microsoft Word. Maybe a lot of them. But yeah, very thorough. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, next is good of the order. Does anybody have anything for good of the order? Karen? Oh.
First, I'd like to recognize and thank Betty for her support in the microplastics project. If it wasn't for you, Betty, we wouldn't have been able to get where we are now. They really underestimated the amount of staff support needed, and you guys, you have become an extension of us and saved us in being able to participate.
Yeah.
So this is an excellence in service award and a Public Works coin for
my
your
gosh.
effort.
Yes.
Wow,
Thank you, Betty.
gosh, you
We
guys.
appreciate
Yay, good job.
Just one more thing, we need about 10 more people.
I was gonna say, you guys haven't considered.
Anybody that has a washing machine and a little space, please help us, because, and
Almost there,
almost there.
almost there.
So close.
And last but not least, this is Stacy's last meeting.
Oh, next, I think, is it next month?
Yeah,
Is it next month?
I hope so.
Forget it today.
I hope it's next month.
Because these won't make it till next month. So, and I'll be here next month.
Well,
So-
perfect then.
That's a thank you for being our chair of
Thank
this
you.
committee and everything you do. And
Thank you.
so you guys need to be ready to talk about your chair switches next month.
Yeah.
I'll see you when I get back to my cruise.
Have fun. Bringing that up and go to the order. So yeah, so next month, I think, and you guys tell me if this is okay. At the end of the meeting next month, we can elect a new chair and vice chair. And then by the time the November meeting starts, everything will be in place.
Yep.
That work for everybody?
Let's make sure it's on the agenda, so.
Yeah, it'll be, I think,
Action item.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's been a good run. I can't believe it's been 8 years. So,
I can't either.
Yeah.
Gosh.
yeah. So thank you.
3 of them were only on Zoom.
Right. That was.
Not done yet. You got one more meeting.
White House.
A lot of people take a year off and come back on for another 8, so keep that in mind.
All right, I will definitely
Don't-
consider that. Yeah. You guys know how to find me. Okay, anything else? All right, thanks so much. We'll adjourn the meeting and have a good day, have a good month, and we'll see you all soon.